what's up, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be giving a review for the film Ghost in the Shell. Now this is a live action adaptation of the manga series, plus I think 1995 manga anime film too as well. Now you have Scarlett Johansson, who plays the antagonist, I mean not the antagonist, but the protagonist of the film, excuse me, known as the Major. And the Major is like a cyborg, like human hybrid, where she has like a backstory that they kind of revealed at the beginning of the film, where somehow she has survived. You know, she was like in a near-death experience, but I don't want to talk on it too much because it would kind of spoil like the little hidden treats in the film. But anyway, they managed to save her brain and they put it inside like this cyborg body. So basically, the only thing that's really human about the body itself is her brain. But the whole entire body that she's in, like her shell, is like a whole like cyborg, like cybernetic, like, you know, machine basically. So only living thing in the machine is her brain. So he puts the Major's brain inside this robotic body. Then I touch on, you know, everything else. But anyway, this is my review for the film Ghost in the Shell. Now, first of all, this film is set like in the future. Now, from my opinion, the look of it, you would think it's like the far future. But from what I'm hearing, it is like the near future. But anyway, it opens with like a spectacular like action sequence with like the Major infiltrating like this like place where there's like robotic like geishas and like a cyborg terrorist. You know, they're trying to attack these people and like steal info. So she shows up and, you know, and she takes them all out. It's like it's an amazing, like awesome sequence, you know, because she uses like her stealth suit, you know, and she actually is like running on the walls and shooting at them and stuff like that. It's an awesome sequence, you know. But this opens the film. But as it turns out, you know, once they take one of like these like robotic geishas back to the place where the Major is kept, it turns out that once she infiltrates like the geisha's like brain, she like takes like a mind deep delve thing into like the geisha's like robotic like brain, and then she gets like infected with like this, not really a virus, but she gets hacked basically. And it turns out that the person that hacks her is actually like the antagonist of the film. But he's not, you know what I'm saying, if I touch on it too much, it will kind of spoil it. He's, you know, he's not really too big of the antagonist of the film, but he's like the main threat of the film. It turns out that the guy that hacked her was known as Kuze, and he is also like a cyborg like mixture with like human, well basically have like a human brain, but his brain is encased like inside this like cyborg shell. And it turns out that he was the one that hacked the Major's brain while she was inside like the geisha. And it turns out he was one that tried to attack these people at the open, like during the opening entrance, you know, where they was having like this meeting, you know. He was the one that was behind the attack, you know, with them like trying to hack these like group of like people, whatever. Basically, he was controlling these cyber terrorists. So it turns out, you know, that he was also like a former member, well, he was actually one of like the same like cyborg like hybrid humans, I mean human hybrids that was created just like the Major was. He was actually before her. And I think right before her, if I'm not mistaken, but he was kind of considered like defective and they had got rid of him. So, you know, like typical like movies, you know, he kind of turns against like the corporation and he wants to seek revenge, you know, and he wants to do this and do that, you know. But in the end, like I said, if I touch on it too much, it kind of spoil the film. So that's basically what's going on with the film. You have the Major, she's trying to pursue this guy, but at the same time, she has like an emotional element that's going on with her too as well. She's trying to find out like her history, and it turns out that her history, it wasn't what she was told. You know, they actually put memories into her brain to make her think that this part of her past had happened, but it really didn't. You know, it was actually something else happened, and she actually has like a close connection to Kuze. You know, they have both have a close connection. You know, but if you touch on it too much, it kind of like spoil what goes on with the film itself. First off, I really enjoyed this film a lot. Now, I had seen like the 1995 anime film. I used to have it on video. I think I still have it, but it has been so long, so I can't really say how faithful it is. But I do recall like a lot of the sequences that were in the film, you know, they were actually straight out the anime. But I really enjoyed this film a lot, you know. I like the look of it, like the high-tech visuals of it, being that it's future, you know, in the future, basically, you know, everything is like very like high-tech and like science fiction-y, you know, and that's my favorite genre anyway, you know. But like another thing too though, like some of the visuals like in the city itself, like all like the various holograms, it's an awesome and intriguing idea, but I still felt that it didn't really look too good. You could tell there was like a lot of CGI in it, but it was still cool, you know. Now maybe once it comes to like video, like Blu-ray and so on like that, if you watch it like depending on the kind of TV you watch it, I bet those visuals will look much more awesome that way. You know what I'm saying? I saw this in IMAX too, but it didn't really, you know, it didn't really look as good. 'Cause I know like a lot of films like this, they look much better when you actually get to see them like in Blu-ray or like on a certain kind of TV, like 4K or whatever, you know, they look more better that way, you know. So like for my opinion, the visuals didn't really look too great. I thought the performances were awesome too, like Scarlett Johansson as the Major, the way she portrayed like the character. You know, she has like a robotic like feel to her. You know, when she's like walking around, you know, everything. I thought that was awesome. Plus scenes where, you know, she's like, you know, she can pull herself apart and stuff. I thought that was kind of cool, like the actual look of the cyborg that she is herself, you know. And it was awesome, like action scenes, you know, like I said, the opening intro scene, you know, when she infiltrates like this place where like, the terrorists were trying to attack these people, you know, like the robotic geishas and stuff. That scene was awesome. Plus there was like another sequence, you know, where she's chasing the guy, you know, and they go out like into like the water, like, you know, and they was fighting, and she had like a step suit and he had on a step suit too. Now I recall that one very well from like the anime, and that scene was awesome too as well. It didn't top like the opening sequence, you know, but it was awesome though. Plus, like the idea of like Scarlett, I like how she carried herself as like the Major too. She had like a sexy, like appealing like look to her, so I thought that was cool. And I thought her stealth camel suit that she has on, you know, I think that's awesome because it kind of reminds you like the Predator, you know, how she could just turn on and be like camel, you know. I thought that was kind of cool. And another thing I thought was kind of cool about like they had this thing where they can do like the Major, she can do like her I guess you could say leaders. They can kind of communicate through their mind. They don't actually have to talk. They actually can like send like communication through their mind, so their mouth don't even move. I thought that was kind of awesome too as well. Some of the other characters were interesting and like fun, you know, but they're like typical like, you know, like characters in films, you know. Like you got like Batu, who's like the Major's like right hand man. He's played by, I think it's Palul Asbek. I thought he was kind of awesome in this before, because at one point he loses like his eyes, so he actually has to put like cybernetic eyes, like in his eyes or something like that. I thought it was kind of cool, you know. And then you have like the creator of the Major, got this woman, but I don't want to touch on all that. You have the guy that's over the whole thing, like this Asian guy. But I'm not going to touch on all them because, you know, I have trouble like pronouncing their names. But I thought they all were kind of decent or good in their performances, you know. And like I said, it turns out that Kuzi, he wasn't really like the antagonist, like the villain of him. There's like another guy too, but I'm not going to touch on him. But I guess I said the downfall, like I said, the things I didn't like too much about it were like I said, at times like the holographic visuals of the city itself. Now I think this is like Hong Kong or Asia. I'm not too really sure because they don't really stress what city it's in, but I believe it is there, you know. And plus, like another thing I thought they didn't touch on enough was like the Major's like abilities. You know, you don't really know what she's really like capable of doing. You know, like what's her peak abilities. I know she's like a cyborg, but they don't really stress like the things like how strong she is or how fast she is. They don't really touch on like the peak of her abilities. So I thought that was kind of odd, and I was kind of like missing, you know. But in the end, I thought this was a good film, you know. Rupert Everett, I think that was the director. Yeah, Rupert Sanders, I'm sorry. The director of this film, I thought he did a good job with the look of the film, like the pacing of it. It never felt like it slowed down. It wasn't like sluggish. It had a nice pace to it. It never felt like dull or anything, you know. I thought it moved smoothly, you know. The action was like on point. The visuals were cool, except for like certain scenes, you know. And like I say, another thing about it too, I just really would recommend this for fans of like the film, like Ghost in the Shell. If you're a fan of like the manga series, I would highly recommend it for that crowd. Or if you're just a fan of like science fiction films, you know. But then Ghost in the Shell, I remember they're giving this a B. And I really thought this is one of the best films I've seen so far this year, from my opinion. I thought it was that awesome and cool, especially in this genre, you know. So yeah, that's my review for the Ghost in the Shell, and I'm giving this a B. And I'll catch y'all later. And please subscribe to my channel. Alright.